So, what does it really take to arm one of the world's most elite special forces units? Well, today we're going to open up the armory of Russia's Spetsnaz and take a look at the tools of the trade. We're talking everything from the workhorse rifles they all carry to some seriously exotic, mission-specific hardware. Let's dive in. That quote really says it all, doesn't it? For these operators, their gear isn't just a bunch of equipment. It's the thin line between mission success and total failure, between life and death. The right tool for the job is absolutely everything, and every single piece has a very specific purpose. All right, first up, let's talk about the backbone of any Spetsnaz fire team, their primary assault rifles. These are the foundational tools, the absolute workhorses that every operator has to know like the back of their hand. And of course, right at the heart of that arsenal is an absolute icon, the Kalashnikov. Specifically, we're looking at the modernized AK-74M. This thing is a rugged, reliable standard that has proven itself in pretty much every environment you can imagine all over the world. So what makes it so good? Well, a huge part of its success is the smaller 5.45mm round. This gives the rifle surprisingly low recoil, and that means way better control when you're firing on full auto. It's just a platform that operators trust to work, no matter how bad the conditions get. But that smaller round isn't for every situation, and this is where you really see two different schools of thought. You've got the AK-74M with its control and precision, and then you have the AK-103, which brings back that classic hard-hitting 7.62mm round. It's a classic trade-off. Are you looking for more control, or are you looking for more raw knockdown power? Speaking of knockdown power, let's talk about it on a whole different level. Just look at that number, 12.7 millimeters. That's a caliber you'd normally see on a heavy machine gun. And that massive round belongs to this monster, the Sheikh 12. This is not your standard issue assault rifle. No, this is a huge battle rifle built for one very specific and honestly kind of terrifying purpose. So you might be asking, why does a weapon like this even exist? It's for those intense, close-quarters fights where a threat needs to be neutralized immediately. We're talking anti-terror raids where the target might be wearing heavy armor, or maybe they're behind cover. The raw energy of this round is designed to stop them cold, no questions asked. Okay, so now the fight moves indoors. We're leaving the open fields behind and stepping into the chaotic, tight confines of urban combat. In here, things are different. Speed and a high volume of fire are what's going to keep you alive. And first on the list is the PP-19 Bazan. It's a submachine gun that, it looks kind of familiar, but it has one very, very unique feature that gives operators a huge advantage when they're clearing rooms. That advantage is its wild-looking helical magazine. It holds a ton of rounds, way more than a standard mag. What that means in practice is an operator can push through several rooms and engage multiple targets without having to take that critical, very vulnerable pause to reload. But what if you're not trying to just outlast the enemy? What if you want to completely and totally overwhelm them? Well, for that kind of brute force room clearing, the Spetsnaz often turn to the Saiga 12K. Yeah, this is pretty much the ultimate solution for brute force. Just think about it. It takes the devastating power of a semi-automatic shotgun and builds it on that famously reliable AK platform. The result is a weapon that can put up a literal wall of lead in a split second. And since it uses a box magazine, an operator can slap in a new one in seconds, which is a massive, massive advantage over a traditional tube-fed shotgun. Okay, we've done loud and overwhelming. Now, let's shift gears to silent and precise. This is the arsenal for the Ghost, the kinds of weapons designed for covert ops deep behind enemy lines, where just one loud gunshot can compromise the entire mission. And when you think about Spetsnaz and stealth, these two iconic weapons are probably what come to mind. The AS-Vol assault rifle and its sniper rifle counterpart, the VSS Venturez. These are the absolute classic tools for any kind of shadow operation. What's so amazing about these is that they were designed from the ground up to be silent. The suppressor isn't just an attachment, it's actually built into the barrel. They fire a heavy, slow-moving subsonic round, which means the bullet never breaks the sound barrier, so you don't get that loud crack. The end result is a weapon that's just ghostly quiet, perfect for taking out sentries without anyone even knowing you were there. But what if your silent target is wearing heavy body armor? That's the exact problem the VSSK Viclop was built to solve. It takes that same stealth concept and just scales it up. It's a silent sledgehammer, firing a massive subsonic round that's capable of punching right through protection. All right, so we've gone from silent strikes and now we're swinging all the way to the other end of the spectrum. These are the heavy hitters. These are the weapons you bring in not for subtlety, but for delivering absolutely devastating and suppressive firepower.
And this is the RPOA Schmel. Now, it's often called a flamethrower, but what it actually does is, well, it's a lot more terrifying and effective for what it's designed to do.
It's a thermobaric weapon. The best way to think about it is like a 1-2 punch. First, the rocket sprays a fine mist of fuel into the air. Then, a second charge ignites that entire cloud all at once. The result is a massive fireball and a crushing pressure wave that can wrap around corners and seep through openings. For anyone inside a bunker or a building, there is simply nowhere to hide. For our final section, we're diving into the really unique and specialized tools. These weapons really showcase the kind of creative, mission-specific thinking that goes into equipping a force like the Spetsnaz. And this might be one of the most unusual sidearms ever made, the OTS-38 Silent Revolver. It's a very rare piece of gear designed for one thing and one thing only, a perfectly clean, evidence-free operation. The real genius here is actually in the ammunition. It uses this special piston-driven cartridge. So when it's fired, a little piston pushes the bullet out of the barrel, but traps all the hot gas inside the shell casing. This makes the shot almost silent without even needing a suppressor. And since it's a revolver, it doesn't eject the spent casing. What you get is a silent shot with absolutely zero evidence left behind. So from rugged rifles to silent revolvers, it's pretty clear the Spetsnaz have a specific tool for just about any scenario you could dream up. And that raises a really fascinating question. As technology and the face of warfare continue to evolve, what will the next generation of these specialized weapons even look like? What new problems will they be designed to solve?